Now, to take a look at the IMF latest report ranking Nigeria as the largest economy in Africa, I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by the CEO, the CFG Advisory, and an economic analyst, Tilewa Adebajo. Thanks a lot for joining us on the news at 10.
Thank you. Good evening, Ijoma.
So, largest economy in Africa, that's the latest ranking for us. And what do you make of that?
Well, what I make of it is that it shows you the potential of the Nigerian economy. As a matter of fact, the figure was actually 570 billion and at its height 2 years ago. So we've lost about 155 billion or 27% of that GDP because of the contraction we've had of about 2.5% this year that we're expecting. So it shows you that Nigeria's economy right now is one of the top 25 economies in the world. But if we put the right policies in place, Nigeria's economy potentially on paper is a G10 economy, a top 10 economy globally. So there is that potential.
I was going to come to that discussion, what you just said about being on paper. If you could put that side by side with us being in a recession and what the average Nigerian feels about the economy. So how do you put the two side by side?
Well, it shows that there is hope. And I think we should look at this with the fact that if we do the right things and put the right policies in place, the right stimulus. For instance, the government revenue this year has been about 50% short. So it's important, for instance, that the central bank bring its balance sheet to the table and go into quantitative easing. The central bank should print about 2.5 trillion of a single-digit capex bond to support the finance minister so that she can take this money to be able to ensure the stimulus goes through. Because if we don't have this stimulus, if we can't print this money, the money is not coming as fast as it needs to, and we're in the last quarter of the year. So we need to take action like quantitative easing, drastic stimulus package, print the money, give it to the finance minister, and let her begin to distribute it to her implementing ministries.
So do you think we did something differently, seeing as South Africa had outpaced us about 2 months ago, and here we are, this ping pong between us and them? As people were talking about the size of their economies, seeing that they're managing what they have, and we might be as big as we are, but we're not managing, what we are.
True, and I'll reflect that to you. South Africa, the reason why you've seen that ping pong is as a result of the devaluation. The rand was also recently devalued, so that's why we're able to, the flip-flop that you've seen. But if you take a look at our economies, we're generating only about 3,000 megawatts of electricity. South Africa generates 35,000 megawatts of electricity. So if we were generating 10 or 20,000 megawatts of electricity, our economy will definitely be a G10 economy.
All right, so does this ranking mean that we're going to exit the recession any quicker? Should we be as optimistic as that?
Not quite yet. I think the policies are now beginning to form. We're beginning to see better coordination between the monetary policy and the fiscal policy, and we're beginning to see some sort of economic recovery plan. So we need to get the confidence back in the economy, to the financial markets, to the businesses, to the local investors and foreign investors. If we can restore the confidence, and if they can do this quantitative easing with about 2.5 trillion and print 2.5 trillion, push it out, then we can begin to hope for recovery.
All right, the CEO of the CFG Advisory, Tilewa Adebajo, thanks for sharing your thoughts on the economy with us on the news at 10 tonight.
Thank you very much.
And in part 2, after the break, newly crowned monarch of ancient Benin Kingdom receives staff of office with several top dignitaries in attendance. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.